The Night Clerk. This is a suspense thriller film where we see a night clerk who watches people through hidden cameras. At the beginning of the film, we see a guy named Bart who is stalking people through hidden cameras, but he is also repeating their behavior and talking. He watches a mom trying to handle her kids, and a man getting ready. He is practicing talking like them because he is a socially awkward guy. His mom calls him for lunch. He lives with his mom and even has her on CCTV. His mom leaves the plate on the basement stairs. Bart, while eating, observes his mother and replicates her actions. Bart goes to work in the evening at a hotel where he works as a receptionist. He tries to kill time by walking around and looking at magazines, but eventually decides to take a nap, since it is unlikely for new visitors to arrive at midnight. Karen arrives and asks for a reservation with the name Peretti. Bart upgrades her to a higher quality room and watches her while she is in a robe. A man knocks on her glass door, but is surprised to see her in the room. Another receptionist startles Bart, assuming he was watching a dirty video. Bart goes home and sits down to eat ice cream while watching Karen. Karen seems to be a mistress and talks to the man in a sexy way, but soon, the man starts beating her aggressively and drops a pistol. Bart gets panicked and rushes over to the hotel to save her. The receptionist sees Bart's car being parked weirdly. A loud noise of a gunshot can be heard. The receptionist comes into the room watching Bart sitting on the bed with Karen dead on the floor. The receptionist tells Bart to stay still while he calls the cop. Bart takes out all the hidden cameras' South Dakota cards, but leaves one behind. Detective Espada interrogates the hotel owner and asks about Bart. The owner describes Bart as a smart individual despite his condition, and has been staying at the hotel for the past 3 years without any complaints. Bart tells the detective about his whereabouts, stating that he went home, but forgot his wallet at the hotel. He found it later near the vending machine. The detective asks Bart if he ever had a girlfriend or boyfriend, and how he bought the ice cream without his wallet, to which Bart has no answer. Bart is taken to the police station, where Karen's husband asks him about the murder and Karen's possession of a small pistol. He also questions why she was at a hotel at midnight. Bart's mother arrives and takes him with her, arguing with the detective and stating that she will bring her lawyer next time. In the next scene, we see the detective looking into Bart's condition. Bart in his basement goes through the footage again. This time he notices a half-visible tattoo on the man's arm that looks like a bird. Bart goes to his night shift. His boss relocated him. A girl named Andrea walks in and talks to Bart, understanding he has a condition. She talks patiently and leaves for her room. Bart even has a hidden camera in his tie. He plugs in the camera to watch himself talking to Andrea. He gets attracted to her. The next morning, Bart notices someone is spying on him, most probably Espada. He gets panicked and enters a grocery store where he bumps into Andrea. They both start talking. He mentions his condition, but Andrea comforts him, saying her brother had the same thing, but had even worse effects. Her brother passed away. She calls Bart smart and brave. Bart, getting comfortable with her, says he observes people and tries to repeat their actions. Later, we see Bart counting his memory cards, but learns one is still missing. Unfortunately, Espada had already found the card and watched the clip. Karen's husband tells him to arrest Bart because he is the prime suspect in this, but the detective explains the footage only covers the legs and they don't have any solid evidence. During the night, Andrea returns to the hotel, and Bart informs her that he has fixed the air conditioning in her room. However, in reality, he has placed his cameras there. Andrea proceeds to have a drink and relax, while Bart watches her from a distance. Later, she goes for a swim in the pool, and Bart watches her from the edge, catching a glimpse of her exposed chest. Feeling embarrassed, Andrea covers herself and puts on a robe. Bart explains that the hotel does not have a lifeguard, so he stayed close by to ensure her safety. Andrea invites Bart to join her, and he sits next to her. He asks about the man who dropped her off and whom she kissed before leaving, but Andrea does not answer and instead asks if he has a girlfriend. Bart explains that most people view him as unattractive and unsophisticated, so he does not have a girlfriend. Andrea asks Bart what he's thinking, and he kisses her. Although he becomes anxious, Andrea reassures him that everything is okay. She invites him to sit beside her, and tells him that loneliness can make people do foolish things. She then kisses him, and Bart relaxes, Resting his head on her lap, Andrea confides in him, revealing that she has feelings for a married man, the same man Bart was inquiring about. She is unsure what to do, and things are becoming complicated. In an effort to make her feel better, Bart suggests that he could be her lifeguard. Andrea becomes emotional and agrees that perhaps he could. She then leaves to get some sleep. Bart tries to improve himself for Andrea by getting a new haircut, clothes, and car. However, he sees Andrea with the man who murdered Karen, and rushes home to find that the police have taken his belongings. The detective interrogates Bart about Karen's murder, but he makes a joke about carrying a gun during sex that goes wrong, which angers the detective. Bart later watches Andrea with the man on a secret camera. Later that night, we see Andrea in a car talking to Nick, Karen's husband. This tells us that Nick is the person who killed Karen. Nick is the same married guy Andrea told Bart about. We don't know if Andrea is in danger, and if she knows what Nick has done to his wife. Andrea pays a visit to Bart's house to express her remorse. Even though she wanted to be with him, their situation was complicated. Bart is unhappy with how Andrea treated him, but she consoles him and assures him that she won't bother him anymore. However, Detective Espada is seen observing her as she drives off. Later that night, Bart turns on his CCTV cameras and notices Nick physically attacking Andrea. In a bid to rescue her, Bart confronts Nick, who attempts to strangle him, but ultimately flees the hotel. Bart confesses to having hidden cameras to monitor Andrea, which causes her to become angry and upset. Bart tries to soothe her by showing her a video of Karen with Nick, which shocks Andrea. She asks if anyone else knows about the video, but Bart denies it. Andrea becomes emotional and starts to cry, unsure of what to do. Bart tries to comfort her and suggests that she rest. They both cuddle and sleep. After waking up, Bart sees Andrea all dressed up in a packed suitcase. She says she wants to run away and asks if he will join her. Bart, for the first time, is not having any problem making eye contact with a person. He walks up to her and kisses her, but just then, he wakes up and understands it was all just a dream. In reality, Andrea left his house a while back with the original hard drive. She also kept Karen's gun on Bart's bed. Espada can be seen visiting Andrea's hotel room, where he finds a bloody towel and a hidden camera. In another scene, we see Andrea meeting up with Nick. She handovers the hard drive to Nick. They both are in a car ready to flee. Andrea and Nick are lovers who murdered Karen. They wanted to erase any evidence, and that's why they planned all this. In the next scene, Bart's mother hears a loud gunshot and calls for the cops. With some officers, we see Espada. He sees a letter from Bart that says he should have given the proof earlier, and the video of Karen being murdered is also playing with more South Dakota cards lying near the letter. The cops quickly take action and go to arrest Andrea and Nick. We can see both lovers are driving, and suddenly some cops follow, forcing them to stop. Moments later, we see Bart in a mall mumbling the stuff he had seen in the various footage. As he walks, he is observing and practices his social skills. If you liked this movie, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.